back to our March 5th edition of Feeding Our Faith. I have with me Frank Lucero, who is going to help me make what I've never really had a good name for this for this recipe, except it's pork inside a pork wrapped in pork. So pork and pork in
with
pork. Pork, yeah. Okay. Lots of pork. But what we do is we take we have 2 pork tenderloins that we're going to open up. We'll split lengthwise, and we'll stuff pork sausage in them, which we have already cooked pork sausage right here, which I'm kind of chopping up a little bit finely so that it fits in there nicely. Now, when you grab your pork tenderloins, you'll notice that on them there is this little skin right here, which is silver skin. And you can leave that on, but it's really best to try and remove it, because what can happen as you cook the pork tenderloin is that little tough part there, the silver skin, will cause the pork tenderloin to kind of roll up and not stay flat. Our topic for this March Feeding Our Faith is on the Pope's encyclical Laudato Si. Do you know anything about that, or have you heard about that?
Well, I know it gives a strong emphasis for part of our Catholic faith being stewardship of our environment. And
why do you care about the environment, though? It has nothing to do with sacraments, does it?
No.
Okay.
So,
I'm being facetious.
The reason...
So you're like, Father Jeff doesn't care about the environment.
That we might care about the environment is it's something that God has entrusted to us to care for. And, we want to do a good job with that. We want to be good stewards of our planet.
Yeah, because a lot of times, when you use the word stewardship with people, they think, oh, Father Jeff's going to start talking about money again.
Right. Yeah.
We start another capital campaign. And people don't realize that the environment itself, all that we have is, the gifts that God has given to us. And we have the responsibility of taking good care of it. Now, the next step in this dish is we've got these 2 pork tenderloins. Now, what we need to do in order to be able to stuff them is we need to open them up a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I've kind of laid them down here flat, and I'm going to cut all the length down here. Now, you got to be careful as you're cutting, because you don't want to cut too deep. You don't want to cut all the way through. So I'm cutting very shallow on the thin part of the tenderloin, and I cut a little bit deeper as we're going to the thicker part of the tenderloin. So we got it about open like that. So we made an incision, what would you say, about an inch and a half?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll do the same with the other pork tenderloin. And the reason we're doing this is to make it easier to stuff this. Now, the sausage we used is just kind of a generic bratwurst, but you can use any sort of pork sausage that you would like, whatever your favorite is. Now, once we have these, what you'll do is you want to put them so that you'll have the thick end and you'll have the thinner end. And you'll want to put them opposite. Once we're ready to assemble it and cook, you'll have this thick part over the thin, and then likewise the same on the other side, which promotes even cooking. So our next step is to put sausage in. So usually what I do is I'll put sausage just kind of on one side like this, and then we will bring this over the top. Okay, the next step is we're going to take bacon, and you can use any kind of bacon that you find at your grocery store, thick slice, thin slice, a certain kind of smoke or flavoring, whatever you like. But what we do is we take the bacon, and we will begin to wrap it around the pork loin. And once you get one strip down, you'll take the next strip and start it where the last one left off. And you'll continue doing this until you have the entire pork tenderloin wrapped in bacon. This is why it's pork and pork and pork. So now we've got our pork and pork wrapped in pork. And then we'll want to take butcher's twine. Now, I'm sure there's a very artistic and classy way to do this, but we're going to do it the Father Jeff way. And this is where it helps to have someone who can help you. Whereas, Frank, if you kind of lift that end up for me. And I'm going to put the string underneath. There we go. There we go. You can set it down. Thank you, sir. And we take the string, and basically you just tie a real basic overhand knot. If you want to get fancy, you can tie it again. Then what you'll do, and this is where it kind of becomes a little tricky, is you'll bring it down a little bit, and then you'll wrap it around. And this is where it helps to have a friend there to help you out. And then you will bring the string through the loop, like that. And you'll tighten it down. So get it all the way through there. And you'll tighten it down. You're going to repeat this process just every inch or so, all the way down the pork tenderloins. That way it keeps it all together. While I'm finishing up tying this up, You'll want to make sure that your oven is set at 375. Now, once we've gotten to this point, we're going to want to tie it off because we still have an overhand knot there. Now, usually what I do is I'll bring the string back through at least one or two of the loops and then finish it off with an overhand knot. Now, you will want to bake this until it reaches an internal temperature of about 160 degrees. And then at that point, you will put the raspberry chipotle barbecue sauce on the top. And we will bake that until done, which takes about an hour and a half. Again, thank you for joining us for this edition of Feeding Our Faith. And reminder, you can find all of these recipes on our website at feedingourfaith.com. And also, we hope that you will join us to find out a little bit more about the encyclical Laudato Si at Feeding Our Faith, happening on March the 5th at 5 p.m. in the church. And so we hope to see you then.